Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar today about Iceland. My name is Eva Rosita. I am Head of Operations here at Dispo.Travel. So today we are having an educational session about Iceland. I'm very excited about this webinar to tell you more about Iceland. So I will just go quickly over what's the plan of today and just to give you an insight, and then we will move on. So first I will start with just a short introduction about who we are and what we do for those who don't yet know, provide some top travel services and provide information about categories and offerings, as well as I will introduce you to our guest speaker, Írena, who will share her inside scoop on Iceland. And then, of course, I will also show you some tours that we have available already online and which can be customizable to your groups. Duration of the webinar is about 45 minutes. And if you ever have any questions about Iceland or anything else, you can always send a quick email to our office at Dispo.Travel email, where our team will get back to you. So thank you again for joining today, and I'm very looking forward to this. So in short, about who we are here at Dispo. We started back in 2013, originally as a small travel agency. Since then, we have grown into a big international company with multiple projects and sister companies. So we have our head office located here in Riga in Latvia, and we have other offices also in Netherlands, in Amsterdam, in Germany, in Munich, and just opened up also in Spain. So we have quite a bit spread out through Europe. Today's main focus is on Iceland. However, I would like to point out that we do work all around Europe, including the United Kingdom, Scandinavia, Baltics, all the Central Europe part as well as outside of Europe in countries like Japan or South Korea, and as well as some parts of USA as well. Okay, so our main focus is on the transportation services, as we own our own fleet of vehicles like minibuses and large buses, as well as we act as a DMC company, and we can provide either package deals or separate services like guides or excursions or accommodations, so basically everything. Okay, so as I just mentioned, so we have our main categories: ground transportation services, tours, guides and tickets, as well as accommodations. So key travel services that we do are airport transfers. So basically there can be any kind of transfers from point A to B, as well as a charter bus and minibus rental with driver. At the moment we don't have any car rental yet. All of our transportations are equipped with our own drivers. We work with group and FIT tours, customizable trips, tour guides, and accommodation bookings. So basically we try to cover all areas of needs when you travel to Europe. What makes us different? So we have our own booking platform and our own fleet of vehicles. So this is something that sets us apart from other companies, other DMC companies basically. So all of our payments are in the system are automatic. You can pay either with payment link or a card, as well as bank transfer is also an option. If you are a registered agent, you have your report system available online with all your bookings, requests, invoices, so everything is instantly there and available. Also, we have our API connection possible, where you can connect either your system or place a booking engine on your website. As I mentioned, so we work worldwide. We have a quite large network with our global contact database, which we have taken care of since 2013, and each of our suppliers are checked and we know them right before they get accepted on our platform. Okay, so now I'm very excited to introduce you to our guest speaker, Írena. She has been living in Iceland for a while now and working as a local guide. So here are some fun facts about Írena that I found amazing. So she has climbed Everest Base Camp, so no big deal, right? But obviously, most of us, 90% people, couldn't even do that. So that's quite impressive of her. Then also conquered the mighty Mount Fuji in Japan. That just sounds amazing. And stood on top of the Iceland's tallest peak. But I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, unfortunately. So she's a very proud outdoor enthusiast who loves the great outdoors. So she just the sunshine. So I'm very happy that she is here today and she can tell us more about Iceland and give some inside tips and tricks and what to see and what to do, and also some facts, of course. So I hope you will learn a lot from her, and she will provide enough information for you to come to Iceland and enjoy the country on your own as well. So now I will give word to Írena, and she will provide us the presentation.
Hello everyone! Today we're going on a side journey to Iceland, the land of fire and ice. Whether you dreamt of chasing the northern lights, soaking in hot springs, or just exploring the nature, Iceland has something for everyone. So let's dive into this magical presentation. First of all, I want to start with introducing myself. My name is Írena Pálsdóttir. I am a biologist and a guide. I've been working in the travel industry since 2018 as a guide. And then I went to the back office as an operational manager. And today I'm working as a service manager at Icelandia. That is one of the biggest tourist company in Iceland. I have a TikTok and an Instagram, Írena the Guide, if you want to see some beautiful photos and videos of Iceland and other adventures that I've been doing. Iceland is located in the North Atlantic Ocean, just below the Arctic Circle, so you can see the red spot here. The country has surprisingly mild climate due to the Gulf Stream, but the capital of Iceland is Reykjavík, or the Smoky Bay. And in Iceland we have around 370,000 people that live here, but the country attracts around 2 million tourists a year. Now we're gonna go over the history of Iceland. I can talk about the history for probably a couple of hours, but I'm just gonna tell you the main points of the history of Iceland. The first settlers in Iceland were the Norse Vikings, primarily from Norway, and they arrived here around 870 AD. It was the Ingólfur Arnarsson who was the first permanent settler, and he had his home in Reykjavík, and he named Reykjavík, or the Smoky Bay. But over the next centuries the population just grew, and bringing people mostly from Europe but all around the world coming to Iceland with his rich tradition and stories and unique cultures. And at some point, all things need law and order. So Iceland has the oldest surviving parliament system in the world. We call it Alþingi. Everything happened in Þingvellir, the national park today. Every year at that time, there were chieftains all around Iceland. They gathered around and they had to go over the laws or some disputes they had. But there was one man, the most important man, and he was the law speaker, and he had to memorize all the law. But in around 1260, Iceland became part of the Kingdom of Norway, and then it later transferred to the Danish rule when Norway united with Denmark. But for centuries, Iceland always lived under the foreign rule. And at that time, it was quite harsh conditions. We had natural diseases, we had plague. It was quite hard to live in Iceland. But after centuries, under the Danish rule, Iceland took a step towards independence. And in around early 20th century, during the World War II, Denmark was so occupied with Germany, they cut off Iceland's government from Copenhagen, and that led to Iceland declaring full independence in 1944, 17th of June. Iceland has their own language, Icelandic. Icelandic hasn't really changed for over centuries. It is quite difficult language to catch. If you want to learn, it's gonna take some time. I would recommend you to be here for at least a couple of years. But we also have our unique letters. We have here Þ or E, and these are the letters that most surprise the people, but also how we pronounce them. Our Icelandic names are also special because most names in the world we have family names, but here we do not have that. we have the daughter after, or the son. It means dóttir, means daughter, and son means son. So my name is Írena Pálsdóttir. I am the daughter of Páll, and that's why I'm Pálsdóttir, meaning my dad is called Páll. And then is my brother. His name is Moses Pálsson, because he's the son of Páll. Now we're gonna go over geology of Iceland. So Iceland was formed around 16 to 18 million years ago due to volcanic activity. There is like a hotspot underneath the Iceland, and that's why we have so much volcanic eruptions. But Iceland is on the mid-Atlantic ridge that we have here. And on the both sides of them, we have the Eurasian plate and the North American plate. And they are always drifting apart. So, meaning is that in here, the Westfjords, we have the oldest bedrock, around 16 to 18 million years old. But also in the east, we have also an older, around 60 million years old bedrock. And so, millions of years ago, these two could have been connected. But we have a lot of volcanic eruptions. We have around 130 active volcanoes, probably more. And the last volcano was here in Reykjanes Peninsula just a couple of months ago. And who knows when the next is. We also are known for our hot springs and geysers. And the bedrock is so warm, it just heats up the water. So some of them are too hot to be in the bath, and that's what we call the geyser. And some of them are quite comfortable, and then you can bathe in them. And we are known for being the land of fire and ice. So it doesn't come as a surprise, but every 4 to 5 years there's a volcanic eruption. But it has been these last 4 to 5 years we've been having a lot of eruption in the Reykjanes Peninsula in Fagradalsfjall. It was really close to the airport, so when you flew over or when you were flying to Iceland or away, you could literally see it with your bare eyes. The most known eruption we have is Eyjafjallajökull. Why is this so known? Because it stopped air traffic for a couple of weeks because of so much ash. We have the Bárðarbunga that happened in 2014 and 2015, and it's known because it had the largest lava flow in recent history. And this photo was taken in Fagradalsfjall, and it's a beautiful, and this is just what we saw. A little bit further away, of course, but it was spectacular. And now we go over the ice, because glaciers cover around 11% of Iceland land area. And we have most of it, around 8%, is Vatnajökull or Vatna Glacier. And this is the largest glacier in Iceland and the whole Europe. But it is home for the most active volcanoes underneath the ice. So that can be quite dangerous. And like I said, with the Eyjafjallajökull, when the eruption happened, it stopped air traffic for a couple of weeks. The reason to be is because it melts all of the water, and when the water and lava comes connection, it makes a lot of ash. And also it depends on how the eruption is. But this can be quite dangerous when we have volcanic eruption under a glacier, because the ice melts really quickly and it creates this, we call it jökulhlaup, or the glacier run. So it can be thousands of tons of water, and it just goes from the glacier underneath and just destroys everything. And we had one bridge called the Skeiðará Bridge, which was destroyed in the 1996. So we couldn't even go to the south anymore. But the glacier overall in Iceland, we have beautiful of them. And in Vatnajökull, we had these outliers glaciers that you can see and just almost walk next to, or even on top if we have equipment for. Yeah. So Iceland is incredibly rich in freshwater, thanks for numbers of glacier springs and of course a lot of rain. And we have the highest water reserve per capita in the world. We're quite lucky because the meltwater from the glaciers, it forms a lot of rivers and lakes and even waterfalls, and it makes us why we have so clean and fresh water. For example, there's a glacier called Langjökull, and I've been talking about Thingvellir National Park, and there's a big lake there, and all of the water comes from that glacier. So they melt and goes through all the lava. So we have this filtering system, a little bit different one, and that's why it's so clear there. It's really beautiful. But we're really lucky because we just drink the water from a sink, and you don't find this chlorine taste or anything. It's just like really pure and clean water. But because we have so much water, we're using it for the hydropower or geothermal energy, and we have 100% renewable energy production. And we use it for all the electricity that we have. We have aluminum smelters. They use around 80% of the electricity that we form. And only the population use probably like around 5 to 10%. But because we have so much water in Iceland, we have thousands of waterfalls. I personally say we have endless of them, because who's counting? We can have small, bigger, and some just in the highlands. Who knows where they are? But we have 4 like the most famous waterfalls. We have the Dettifoss, and that's in the north of Iceland. You will see a photo of that one soon. And that is the most powerful waterfall by water volume in the whole Europe. We had Gullfoss, or known for the Golden Waterfall, and it's in the south of Iceland in the Golden Circle. We have Seljalandsfoss. That's a unique one because you can walk behind it. Then we have Skógafoss, and Skógafoss is known for always having like a rainbow on the sides. It's really beautiful. So I have decided to divide Iceland into different sections and marked my favorite places with a heart, like you can see of this photo here. And some of them are hidden gems or secret stops or must-see places that you have to see in Iceland. And now we have here is the Reykjanes Peninsula. If you don't know where this is, the airport is here. So when you're flying to Iceland, you will go here. This is the capital area, Reykjavik, like I said before. But there are not many tourist companies that have a lot of trips here. Some of them do, because we have the Blue Lagoon here. In this area, you can go either with a car or on tour, go all the way here through when it's open, because the last eruption happened here. So you can see the black thing here. It's just from the last eruption. Reykjanes is really beautiful area, and not many people will see that. So I'm gonna show you a couple of photos from this area. We have the Blue Lagoon in the Reykjanes, and this is a must-see place, of course, and it is quite beautiful. We had eruptions, like I told you before, since last 4 years. This is a footage that I took on my drone. It is quite nice. It was quite close. It looks close, but it's a drone footage, so it's really nice. So who knows, if you're here, it's gonna be the next eruption. When you go to the Reykjanes, you will see the bridge between the continents, and this is the North Eurasian continent, and then we have the Eurasian continent. We have Gunnukver. It's a geothermal area that is located there. It is a quite nice place to visit. Now I'm gonna go over Snæfellsnes Peninsula. This is my personal favorite part of Iceland. The reason to be is here. It's a small town called Grundarfjörður, and all the summers I basically grew up there. I was always there because my grandparents lived there. This place is only around 2 to 3 hours drive from Reykjavik. And when you come here, I recommend you to stop at all of the hearts and go around the peninsula. So this area has this dramatic landscape. We have the lava field, we have a glacier you can see here, we have sand, black beaches, we have seals. You can stop here, we have some seals, we have a lot of caves. So they have really everything, and this is quite a beautiful area. And the most famous mountain is probably here. You know that Kirkjufell. I'm gonna show you a picture of it on the next page. So here we have Kirkjufell. This is the mountain I was saying, and it's in my, I would say, the hometown. And it's quite famous because it was in Game of Thrones episodes. But when you go to the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, you have to stop in Arnarstapi. And in Arnarstapi, you will stop there, or if you have a tour, it takes around just 20-30 minutes, depends on how much time you want to have there. And you will walk next to the shoreline, and you will see these beautiful sea cliffs and a lot of bird life. I spotted this spot, Skarðsvík, only last year. I knew about it, and I haven't really been there exactly, but it was really nice. Not many people there, and you can just walk there, and I didn't know, but there was like a hole in the cliff. It was quite beautiful, and all of the seabirds just nesting here. So you can see all the white spots here. This is just poop after the birds. Only around 20 or 30 minutes from this mountain, you will have Bjarnarhöfn, and here they have like a shark museum. They have their staff saying all the stories, and you can even taste a shark. So I recommend going there. Now we go over the Vestfjords. Like I said before, here we have the oldest bedrock of Iceland. It is around 16 to 18 million years old. It means that all of the mountains there, they're really steep and beautiful. Here it takes around 5 to 6 hours to drive from Reykjavik, the capital area. And if you're gonna drive, I recommend you to drive through all of the fjords. It is beautiful and a lot of wildlife. You're gonna see some puffins, birds overall, Arctic fox, seals, and who knows what else you're gonna see. If you are a hiking person, I recommend you to go to Ísafjörður, and we call it the capital of the Vestfjords. Rent or get a shuttle boat to drive you, sail you over to the Hornstrandir, and just hike for a couple of days. And of course, there's nothing there. This is protected by nature since the 1970s. So you will have to have enough food, hiking, maps, GPS, and everything. But overall, Vestfjords have less tourists. They have a lot of hot springs also. You never know when you're gonna see a hot spring. And a lot of fishing villages, small towns. You'll probably call it village and me town because I'm from Iceland. Yeah, it's really nice. Let's see some photos from this Vestfjords. Here we have some photos from the Vestfjords. This is the most famous waterfall in the Vestfjords called Dynjandi. I think it's around 8 small waterfalls and then the big one on the top. Recommend to walk all the way to all of them and try to say the names of them. They are pretty Icelandic names. We have in Hornstrandir, this is a cliff bird and have diversity of birds nesting there. A lot of seagulls and puffins. They're quite beautiful. Not only we have small fishing villages like Flatey, and there are quite many of them, really peaceful and nice fishing villages. Ísafjörður, we call it the capital in the Westfjords. I think around 3,000 people that live there. It's quite nice going to the bakery, walk around. It's a beautiful small town. So here we have north of Iceland. It takes around 5 to 6 hours to drive here from the capital area Reykjavik. You can also fly to Akureyri. It's a town here, and from there you can take tours or rent a car to, see all the north of Iceland. This is a beautiful place. I love it there, and you never get enough of the nature in Iceland. The most see place here is going here, where all my hearts are in. This is the Mývatn. I also call it the Diamond Circle. And it's, instead of the Golden Circle in Reykjavik, I call it the Diamond Circle. They have the spectacular view of Mývatn. We go to Dettifoss. Dettifoss is the most powerful waterfall, like I talked about before. And this area is just really nice. You can go here to Húsavík. In the summer, I think they have 99% chance to see whales. I call the whale capital of Iceland is Húsavík. But all of these areas here in the north are beautiful, and I recommend to go there. Here we have some photos from the north. These two photos are from Grettislaug. If you're going around Iceland and you are sleeping in a tent or renting a camper, I recommend going there, because I didn't know about this place until 2 years ago, and they have a hot spring in the camping site and just this beautiful view over the fjords. Ásbyrgi is one of the places in the north that it's also recommend. All of these places are quite beautiful. Not many people go there. Of course, some of them you can camp there, you can take hikes, and you can hike from Ásbyrgi to Dettifoss. It takes a couple of hours, but it is a possibility. And Dettifoss, like I said before, is the most powerful waterfall that we have in Iceland and Europe. It takes around 20 minutes from the parking lot to walk there. But I also recommend to walk a little bit further off from Dettifoss. There is another waterfall hiding there. We have 2 spas in the north. That is Geosea in Húsavík, the whale capital area in Iceland. And then we have Mývatn Major Baths. And Mývatn Major is like the Blue Lagoon, but less people, because not many people go to the north, but it is quite nice. The Arctic Hedge, you have to have a car to go there for sure. I went my first time last year. It was middle of nowhere. It's a small fishing village that you have to pass to go there. We got like a foggy, ghosty weather, but it was quite nice. And of course, I was the only one there. And Siglufjörður. Siglufjörður is one of the fjords that we have, and it's quite peaceful, a fishing village, and they have this museum there. I really recommend everyone to go there. And in the summertime, when they have many people, they do this show. They have kids, all genders, and they're taking the fish, cutting it off, they're singing just like they did in the old times. Now we go to the east of Iceland. Here we have a lot of places, and you can see how many places I like. We have this fjord, so when you're driving, you have to drive like in the fjord, out of the fjord, in the fjord, out of the fjord. It is quite nice though, because it's just the view when you go into the fjords. It's just really beautiful. And I always have like a game who's the first one to spot a reindeer, because you never know. In the east we have wild reindeers. Also, when you come to Iceland, you're probably not gonna see a lot of forest or trees. But in the east, we have the biggest forest called Hallormsstaðaskógur, and it's located around this area. And here we have a beautiful big lake. There's a really nice waterfall here. I'm gonna show you a picture on the next slide. So this is the waterfall I would recommend going. It takes around maybe 20 to 40 minutes to walk up, and then you can see this beautiful waterfall. And there are a lot of places that I recommend. These are just, I wrote the name on top of everyone like you've been seeing. This one, Laugarvellir. This is my favorite spot in Iceland. This is not only a hot, like a pool, nature pool, but it also has like a waterfall, and it is quite warm. And there were literally no one there when we went. We're quite lucky, but it takes around, you have to walk a little bit, and it's the middle of nowhere. Sturlagil is the most probably that many people know of. It's quite beautiful. You can see people jumping in. It can be dangerous, so I cannot recommend it. It's really cold, I can say that. So these are just a couple of pictures that I had from the east. I decided to cut south of Iceland to 2 parts because there's a lot to see there. Well, really 3, you will see it soon. But in the southeast Iceland we have Vatnajökull. Vatnajökull is the biggest glacier in Iceland, but not only Iceland, but the whole Europe. And it's quite, spectacular. We have Jökulsárlón, or the Glacier Lagoon, is located here, and many people go there, go on boat tour to see the icebergs and probably some seals. Then they go across the bridge, and then you will see some diamonds, because we call it Diamond Beach. I know everyone wants to go to the Glacier Lagoon, but I also recommend to do the others. There's a lot of other small glaciers, glacier tongues going here out, and I recommend you to go there because there's less people and it's just more beautiful. And all this area here, we have these black sands like beaches, so you will see them if you go here. So here we have a couple of photos from the southeast of Iceland. In the Diamond Beach, you will see here just like this diamond. Some days, don't get me wrong, it can be nothing on the beach. It really just depends on the day. Here is one drone footage that I took from the Svínafellsjökull, or Jökull is a glacier. Here though, the Glacier Lagoon, we have some seals that were resting after probably something good to eat. And another photo from Glacier Lagoon on a good day. They have Gigagjá or Jóra Cave. Not many people go there. You have to drive on a sand, so you have to have a really good car to go there. And when you go inside, you can see it's just like Yoda in Star Wars. In Vík, we have this town Vík. It's a small town. I recommend you to go to the beach, and you will see almost exactly like this. So now we go to the south of Iceland, and now you can see the reason why I put it on 2 slides, because there are a lot to see there. We have, this is the most famous parts of Iceland, so almost all tours go there, and I recommend to go there. Though there are a lot of tourists, it's still beautiful. We have the waterfall, we have the black sand, we have the glacier. So it's really like iconic sites that we have. If you're a hiking person, I recommend you to take a couple of days, because either you can go here or here in Thorsmörk, or even hike up here or the other way. And it only takes 1 day to hike here, but it's beautiful view. We have, wow, I counted probably like 10 or 15 waterfalls on the way. You're walking on glaciers, and then when you go down to Thorsmörk, you have this spectacular view over everything. It's beautiful. Let's see some photos. Here we have a lot of waterfalls. So the south of Iceland is just, like I said, a lot of waterfalls. We have Skálabrekkufoss, and this waterfall you can see if you're gonna do the hike to Thorsmörk, you will see it. If not, you can hike there, but it probably takes around 1 or 2 hours to go there. We have Kvernfoss. Kvernfoss is a waterfall next to Skógafoss. So these two are just a couple of minutes apart. Most people know Skógafoss because we have this, there's almost always a rainbow going over. But if you drive maybe 5 minutes from this one, you will see Kvernfoss. And here you can walk behind it also, just like Seljalandsfoss. That's one of the most iconic waterfalls that we have. But I would recommend going to this waterfall. We have Stjórnarfoss just in the south, and glaciers. We have a pool. This is a warm pool that people used to learn how to swim here. It is not as warm as everyone wants to have it, so but it's really nice to jump in after a good day and, have some fun. Here is Thorsmörk, the hiking trip I recommended to go here. And you can just see when you walk down, you're literally walking here on the edge, and you're just going into the valley. So now we have Vestmannaeyjar. So this is an island just outside of Iceland. It takes around 35 minutes to go on a ferry, and just going on the ferry is just fun, because when you come into this island called Heimaey, or the home island, this is one of the toughest to go here inside because it's so narrow, but it's really beautiful. We had a eruption happening in 1973. It happened in the middle of the night. Everyone was asleep, and then they just woke up, and there was just like volcanic eruption happening. Luckily, all the fishing boats and everything was in the harbor, because the day before was bad weather, so they could evacuate the island and no one died. But you can see this here is the new lava and almost close the harbor. But here, this area is really nice. You can do a lot of hiking, and you just walk around. You don't even need a car to go there. So you just walk around the area. If you want to go, I will recommend you to walk, and you can walk here and go up the mountains. It's quite nice. So when you go into the harbor, you will see these steep cliffs going up. You're just surrounded by them. This rock is called Elephant Rock, and you can probably see the face of the elephant here. He's drinking the water. It's quite beautiful. This picture is from a zodiac, so it's from another angle, but it's quite nice. You go there also. They have a lot of puffins there, so if you want to see a puffin, you can also go there and spot some, 1 or 2. Now we're gonna go over the Golden Circle and south of Iceland, because I can always talk more about the south. The Golden Circle is the most popular tour that you go in Iceland, and I recommend you to do so. At least you can go on a tour or rent a car, doesn't matter, because you just need to see this nature. In the Golden Circle, you go to Þingvellir, the national park, and I'm just gonna point where it is. So here is Þingvellir, all this area, and this is the lake. And then you would drive here and go to Geyser, and there you can see Strokkururot every like 15 minutes. Then you would drive a little bit further, and then you will see Gullfoss, and it's a really powerful and beautiful waterfall that you will see. All the water from in Gullfoss, the waterfall, and Þingvellir comes from the glacier just here above. We can see the tiny spot comes from the glacier called Langjökull. Here we have a couple of photos from this area, mostly it's from the Golden Circle. Here is the Strokkur, who rubs every 15 minutes. And not only they have this one, they have a lot of them just bubbling there. And you can walk up like a small hill and have like an overview of the place. I love going to Friðheimar. I go there a couple of times a year. This is a tomato farm, and you can see all the tomatoes here. And they have these bees just like flying around. I don't know, I just love this place, so I recommend going there. Efstidalur is a place that you can have some ice cream straight out of a farm, so it's quite nice. And if you like mushrooms, we have Flúðasveppir, and this is a farm just like Friðheimar with tomato farm, but this is a mushroom farm. Þingvellir, the national park, is must see in Iceland, because here you can basically see both of the tectonic plates that I talked about before. So now I have showed you all of Iceland and the most places, at least the places that I personally recommend you to go. But many of people that are coming to Iceland only come because of the Northern Lights. So I'm gonna go a little bit over the Northern Lights, where you can see them, what are they, and so on. So if you want to see the Northern Lights, you have to come here in the winter time, and it's can be around September to April that you come, but it has to be dark. We cannot see the Northern Lights unless it's dark. So this photo that I took, I think I was just in the summer house. I opened the door and it was just like Northern Lights everywhere. We can't be lucky like that, but many people are not. If you come here, I recommend you either do a tour, but if you do not want to do a tour, you can just drive the car a little bit out of the city, so you will have all darkness around you. But it's really important that you have a clear sky, because if we have clouds, you cannot see the Northern Lights. It could be like behind them, but it really depends on the clouds and how much you can see them. But the Northern Lights, they are solar winds that come from the sun, all the way from the sun, and go all the way, drift through the galaxy and flow around the Earth. So some particle of the solar winds go inside of the shield and makes these colors. Mostly you're gonna see this green color, and if you're not sure if you're gonna see them or not, take up your phone, take a picture of them, of course no flash, and then you will see more colors. If you won't see it, maybe it's a cloud, who knows. Sometimes you see pinks or purple, but I have only seen it like 2 or 3 times, and I've been living here all my life, so if you're lucky, maybe you're gonna see it. I want to go over a couple of local traditions, food, we have festivals, we have singers and everything Icelandic. I want to go over a little bit. So if you come to Iceland, or when you come to Iceland, I recommend you to try all kinds of foods. We have skyr. Many of you know probably skyr. It's just like a yogurt. We have the famous meat soup of Iceland. To be honest, my grandma makes the best meat soup. So if you're not gonna have a good one, I can just blame it on that my grandma didn't do it, but it is quite good. Licorice. Licorice is not the most famous for people, but we eat a lot of it. If you want to be a real Icelandic, please try the shark. You can have the brennivin. It's like a black, we call it the Black Death. It's like a shot of alcohol, and you take the fermented shark and put it in, and then you just take everything. I cannot recommend it myself. I cannot stand fermented shark, but this is something you have to do when you come to Iceland. But the dried fish, on the other hand, is one of my favorites, and I just snack on it when I go hiking, or it's really nice. Hot dogs. We have been in the news for a while for having a really good hot dogs, and just downtown in Reykjavik we have a hot dog stand. It is quite good, so we can't really lie about that. It is quite good, and I have it a couple of times a year for sure. We have the fermented shark. The fermented shark, we only have it once a year. It's called the smelly fish. We have it around Christmas, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about it in the next slide. But most people, or the famous artists, we have Björk, we have Laufey Víkingur. He just won the Grammys just a couple of weeks ago, and congratulations to him. We are quite lucky with our Icelandic people, because you probably know everyone is quite nice. Icelandic is also known for their stories. We have sagas from the century, Icelandic troll story, ghost elves, and more. And you probably will see someone wearing like a wool sweater. Wool sweater is really popular in Iceland. I have probably 4, because my grandma made it for me, and it's really nice and warm, and you really need it for this weather that we have here. So the tradition that we have around Christmas, maybe it's going to surprise you, but we don't have one Santa Claus in Iceland. We have 13 Santa Clauses. So 13 days before Christmas, the kids get like a small gift in their shoe, but they have been misbehaving. They get a potato. Christmas time is for families. We gather around a lot. For example, the 23rd, I was talking about the fermented skate before, the smelly fish. So this is the day we all come together for lunchtime and eat this smelly fish. The 24th is the Christmas day in Iceland. So around 6 o'clock on the spot in the nighttime, we eat. We have some meat that we have. Some people have ptarmigan. It really depends on the family what they have. After dinner, everyone helps out cleaning up, and then we open the packages together in the nighttime. The 25th and 26th of December, we meet up the bigger family, and always for me personally, I have my mom family on the 25th and my dad family on 26th. We eat together, we play some cards, and just, get to know everyone, really. And then we have the bonfire on the 31st of December. So at 9 o'clock we have a bonfire. We are, of course, the family meets up together again, and we have a bonfire, and then we watch. We have like a joke show about Iceland at 11 or at 10 o'clock. I can't remember exactly. And we go over the whole year, and they're making fun of some, what have happened throughout the year. There's a lot of days that we have. We have Þorrablót, Bolludagur, Sprengidagur, and the Öskudagur. And it's like a Halloween, Icelandic Halloween. And then the kids are running around singing for getting candy. And they go to the big companies. We have Réttir, or the sheep roundup. It happens once a year in September. Because in Iceland, the sheep roams freely around Iceland. So if you have a car, please be careful. And in September, they help each other go on ATVs, to hike up the mountains, get together, take the sheep, round them up, and have to finish that. So overall of Iceland, it really depends on what you want. If you want to come here and see the Northern Lights, you have to come when it's winter. In the summer, in the June to August, we have 24-hour daylight. And if you come in the summer, I also recommend you to go in the nighttime, because then there's less people around, for example. You can rent a car. That's the easy if you want to go in places that other people that do not go to. I would recommend you to rent a car. 4x4, go to the Highlands. If not, I recommend to take, for example, Flybus from Keflavik to the capital area, Reykjavik. And if you want to see some tours, this is the company that I work for, Icelandia.com. And they have some really nice tours there. Now I want to give you travel tips when you come to Iceland. Try the local food. Try the smelly fish, try the shark. It's probably not going to be nice, but it's going to be, you never know if you don't try it. Pack warm and waterproof clothes. We are going to have rain. It's just when it's going to happen. Sometimes it happen for 5 minutes and then it's dry and sun, then in 20 minutes. So just try or pack warm and waterproof clothes. If you always check the road.is or weather.is. The weather is how the weather is in Iceland, and the road is the road conditions. If you want to come here and try to live a cheaper life, go to the local supermarkets, shop there, swim in local pools. I know you want to do the Blue Lagoon, the Mývatns baths, but try the local pools. They are really nice. Take your water bottle. Use the water from the sink. It's fine. Don't buy the plastic water bottles from the supermarket. And of course, the most important, be respectful of the nature. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening. And hopefully I'm gonna see you in Iceland soon. And I just want to thank the photographer Herman Helgusson to give me access to all of his photos for this PowerPoint show. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you, Írena, so much for the amazing presentation. It was very interesting and some new facts even for me as well. Now I will show you quickly some tours that we have available as well online, which you can check out. So at the moment we have 3 tours available, which are ready made for you private group or for your a big group. So we have 7, 6 and 12-day Iceland tours. These are one of the most popular tours that we have. So if it says the request the price offer, this means that this is a private tour for your group, and of course it can be customizable, and all you have to do is just enter on the request price, enter the travel dates, and our team will get back to you with a proposal. Regarding 7-day Iceland trip, this is a private tour which can be booked to either by 1 person or 10 people, so it doesn't matter. It can book any day of the week and is available instantly on our website, which includes many different activities, and you can also add recommendations as an option. So So all of this is available at our website, Dispo.Travel. Just filter out Iceland and you will find it there. Thank you again so much today for joining our webinar. I hope you have received some good insights, and with love from Iceland, we hope to see you soon.